Okay, so I'm going to talk about Deep Work by Cal Newport. It's a very interesting book. It has a lot of actual applications that it has, right? So if you read books about productivity and stuff, or books about making money, like I don't know, The Millionaire Fastlane, which is a great book, they talk a lot about I don't know, like mentality and the way you have to change your mind. And this is all very important. But I thought what was nice about this book is that it also has a lot of like pretty much kind of like recommendations and tips on specific things you do. For example, we have an application of how to reduce your time procrastinating doing stuff like I don't know, watching videos on YouTube. So that can be a very addicting thing that impedes you from working, even if you have a schedule and you can't force yourself because you just start watching YouTube. So the idea is that you program yourself 2 hours, maybe 3 hours a day that you specifically dedicate to that. And that was a nice thing, but not one that I had any luck applying. Sorry. And the other more successful one is that I think is the most interesting part was a way to schedule your day. So instead of having a rigid schedule for every single day, you would essentially in the morning, or I do it right before I go to bed so I can plan when I'm gonna wake up. You essentially plan every you take different things you want to do throughout the day, and you consider how much time it's going to take. So you make different blocks. You can make a block from an hour that can be eating breakfast and showering, for example. Then you can have another block that is an hour of reading, another block that is specifically checking emails or something, and you can go scheduling the rest of your day like that, which I thought was very interesting because it is very modular. And I specifically had trouble making different kinds of plans about how I schedule my day in a very rigid way, and I really struggled. I thought this was very interesting because I I could have very much different days in how I start my different things I do depending on what kind of things I have uh, to like objectives I have on different days. I don't do the same thing every day, and it's also very modular for different I don't know problems that impede you. If you say we're going through your schedule and at 3 o'clock you suddenly have to I don't know, you have to go to the hospital for like an hour to check on something, just making a random thing. Let's just say it impedes what you were trying to do. You can just take your some. Let's say you take an hour and you arrive at home at like 4. You can just delete the rest of your day and rearrange the rest of the time you have left. And it's very it's that's I'm running out of words here. Um, yeah, it's very modular. That's what I meant, and it's very flexible. Yes. So you can change it to whatever you need your day to be and whatever your day continues to be. So, well, that's a very specific example. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the different things, but the main importance of this book that brings is deep work, which is the effect of going into a sort of flow state when you're I don't know, programming, for example. So it's a very mentally demanding ability, and you can consider if you take a block of like an hour and 50 minutes or like an hour and a half, and you consider how productive you are in that time. Even if you were to put a 10-minute break in the middle where you check your Facebook, for example, even if you're still having the same amount of time, just split in two, your level of productivity is going to go down drastically, because not because you're taking up so much of that time watching Facebook. You can do the same amount of time, just split up. But the act of taking yourself away from the very demanding activity that is for your mind, that is programming, and you then take your mind off of that to watch Facebook, for you to reintegrate yourself into the same level of flow that you were at when you left the programming session is going to take you some time. So it might take you 5 minutes to check your Instagram, but for you to re-achieve this point at which you were at before is going to take you like 20-30 minutes. So realistically, you're losing much more time than you think you are when you check your phone, or when you just interrupt your deep work with non-essential things. So like a big one was email checking, which isn't particularly important for me. So it's different things, that just interrupt your flow, and I thought that was very interesting. And yeah, essentially talks about that into a lot of detail. It goes into various different subjects that talk about this. Most of the beginning of the book is just displaying the importance of this, and how, giving different examples of companies, people who have become multiple times more productive and have been earning more money when applying different things that involve getting the people they work for or the people they work with into deep work. And this obviously can differentiate depending on what kind of work you have. It's not something that's just going to magically make you earn more money. You have to see how you can apply this sort of stuff. If you work for a construction site and you spend all day, I don't know, using a drill on a ceiling, for example, it's this kind of things that you read in the book aren't going to help you, because it's a manual labor. It doesn't depend on how much you go into a deep state of mentality because you're drilling a hole in a wall or something. It's not a situation where this kind of thing applies, or at least not to the same level. If you were to uh I don't know, spend time selling or marketing, or things that are more centered on you making money with your mind than they are on you making money with your hands or your body. And that's those would be the main points of the book. Definitely recommend it for anybody looking to work on productivity. And if possible, I think this book is great to read in combination with a book called Essentialism, which I am currently reading. So I will put a review for that one later on. And yeah, great book.